Put the mod. Isso, simple. And it's Six, 2026, eh?
David, Mr. Lynch. David, it's like Mr. Lynch. Can you hear me from here? Because, and if... can't believe it. It's a Friday, once again. It's a Friday, once again. In Naples. I think considering middle sky taxonomy from middle is equivalent of variable, and an adjective theoretically means a clear sunny day, scatters in general alternated with or two clouds, cloudy scatters in general, and vice versa. It's the case of today, perhaps in some ways you can see clear but not totally clear, better say middle, and yes. It was at the moment also similar still now, but there is a wind, but as there is a wind golden divi, perhaps more evident goal, it's general golden divi, considerably even if, so in this case vice versa, it's better to say there is a wind golden divi, at the same time it's also similar still now, and it's early after area 13 and 38 minutes. If it's identified at 14 seconds, it means that it's a really cold and crazy in this period. As if cold gadget is used since the first 20 parts of years ago. So absolutely remember. But consider that we already overcome 4 years with the parts regarding last past summer. Con nice fact consider that 4 years, last June 17, so that we already overcome 4 years with the parts. As regard past summer in general, past summer, as absolutely remember, if you follow me, in past summer, I think, body, and also factory overcome 3 years ago due to now also for the winter overcome them. Yes, to be precise, it was December 21 in particular, 16 for PM in Italy. Aveva perhaps no, remember if you body, some body, I suppose indeed, I'm sure, at where I say the everything so the same. At the society materials are proposed activation to training is better paradox for me. And in the student evaluation so for the spring summer youth, it's fact of spring adjective soft for the summer adjective for the other once again the adjective soft to student as in general for resistance period classic adjective, and as regard the degrees, at least for me, was something we say I'm super incomplete, but no, considering a period it's winter, it's cold, so we complete should do complete, but when I say the sentence absolutely incomplete, I'm really feeling already referred to me, but io perhaps really for this period, perfect, outranks perfect, don't feel cold, but feel less. Other people think series of practice, in particular the practice following using semester, which also to refer to cold, and when it comes to winter period, winter weather period, I always want to come to check this preliminary practices. In this case, I put it in the first part of this comment with an asterisk, so if someone is interested in to practice, in this case, in this year, I read or see the first part of this comment with this asterisk, or I don't know for other people, don't think or not, because in fact I feel cold, and I think yes or no, this depends on them, I think 90-95% I feel cold. Or avere in genere in some way for me was good. Or avere in genere in some way for me was good. Instead about to scatto soddisfazione, I don't know. Perché se mi senti just for you, it's più secondo, ma tutto complicated. Perché non mi feel some of you on this. It's a Friday once again, as uno fisso for la serie Friday. It's a Friday once again, as uno fisso for la serie Friday. It's a Friday once again, as uno fisso for la serie Friday. I should never do this. Fantastic Electric Red, Fantastic Electric Blue and White, this is the 6 reason also the reports, and yes, because also the previous, the 5th crashed in the week, fact mistake of 9 Friday good, not 9, 8, no, it should be, I think, yes, 9. Yes, 78, the previous 5th, it was me 6 months more than half, fact mistake. It was a little bit what another cities, another cities, and obviously it's good because it's new, and I also lost count in like effect of I also lost count like on this thing like sex of like effect of the next quick about the breakfast. I promise you at 1 day or 20 minutes ci potete better visit to the Friday, better say present Friday, just start to show it to you, or yes it should be the week of 9 Friday go repeat, if not 9 or 8, and yes, obviously this is good because this news is good because in fact it's new, and only for those who know, I said my list is 30 minutes, but I share it in 30 minutes, yes, in one round, not the month because obviously it's good, it's new, and in one round and only for those who know, I said my bad at least 30 minutes, but I share it 30 minutes, and yes, now I show to you better once again because perhaps just before non si well with this closer shot, so you see the blue and white, 6 is like different reason comparison, modern comparison with the previous. For the colors it remembers me first was the fourth factor was the blue and white, but for some aspects also the first one, the second, yes, and repeat once again also this is the 6 story, 6 reason reports, and in general this is for the channel di questa vlog si vede portare in centro non sono sicuro che sta accanto per sorta di BG to make a bunny challenge so si può anche se faccio te mi music se non so se preso so io vai corso di sei ci per i gat Ingrid Afro, finché a temperature si dice repeat just before 57 to Fahrenheit 14 Celsius. Altre, il primo thing che si è 75 si foto di Lisa. Se continua a fare curte in genere, quindi senza ambiziosi al nostro la persona non si ripete, senza ambiziosi al nostro se suppose, perché solita si ripete, si spray e atmosphere, yes, only to use it to the scat conditioner, not to use obviously is spray, sia sun, sia individual 2 grams of time. Consider the things last days according to Taride, consider manifestation settings. I think it's if not possible, I'm also sure very possible that it once again late after early after to be between late after might become if not totally I think close to totally gradi, probably also dark bleaker at see mostly close to totally cloudy, and also that my train if not a few months today. I think from very very close. But as always and obviously we aren't magicians or wizards, so also see even if it's clear, come skin today, very clear. Well, bad, perhaps the contrary, bad, well, better, bad, well, in fact, one of them, well, bad, or bad, well. So see, we do know what, continue in flash, longer flash, mixed plants, Dit is nu cortesi in sasso melone, mangarti in sombra con lo borfi de Breus, tarde Berti, molly for zonno is it was a beautiful grey curtain with beautiful painted in branches, but flipping all the passage. For fact from the Breus, you curtain the things 3 1 ma comments, come section, see che si orride 1 ma comments, come section should be the point to the first comment, perhaps for to comment where one of them is read the comment section, when if you can see on test the read well, if the shot in abbiamo, from it think of yes. Sì, green flowers along the flowers, mixed with plants. Or if not, even better, should be better shot pratica the first part of the video which Perugia showed you the weather scatter in general for this classical medical room, the classical medical room. Or from a bird's perspective, also from Israel pensa ciò si mangia classico shot di sicuro. Prima si che lì non avrebbe one, non so se tutto, ma tanto in exactly film more interesting for the best curtain bit and beautiful grey curtain, beautiful painted benches. Perhaps also for the first curtain story the birds calare curtain if non triamo exactly lise. Sure the calare curtain is still in cover image dicendo one day as in damage legit. Vabbè, e questo sì, this shot so related to effect above when there isn't a green shooter. Also when there is but when there is efficacy measure. Adesso io da little speech sente tu sei che for the previous curtain bit and beautiful curtain beautiful painted benches. Proprio sul sì che for this first curtain story the birds calare curtain if you see that remember exactly this and now see edit also for non so se case now see edit for this new curtain so mettere repeat the special thing is for times and so rather is little speech sentence is it is but also and always better visible for me it's entirety it's shot at si ponsi mitico leggenda shot si crede che riuscite doing activism fantastic activism was first is last October but it's important to that tutto studiato activism and now si crede that picture center so they would also for it also for it so repeat once again but also and always better visible for me in its entirety in its shot at si once mitico legendary shot. And finally, for my mythical keyboard, NGX 640 PG, 635 also in 6 million shot. And since a few weeks, also from fact film it on January last January 24th was Saturday, so my new shot into which you can see the actual condition for the keyboard actual condition since December 2nd, 2024. In fact, since that there was no light. This is the main problem. Other little problems, but another little problem. But this is the main problem. So in time I'll try to fix it. Getting the people on participating to a possible message to myself, possible skills, and finally, I hope you will get breakfast. Today it's late in general. Also for my husband, in fact, I say late information. If so, maybe it's interested in the 31 fact net education for this time, it's late. Yes, for the in general for the people, it's late. Both for the my record, but not to mass for mass kind of mind or type of mind to make breakfast. These are better see in the winter period, yes, at better see December, January, yes. Sometimes later, but the all important is to see very regular change to in fact, I'm not content to see it to but thinking milk at Fintan in party materials to yes, I just think the regular is regular ministry so stretchable. Ready close the record. Let's summarize if Fintamino more than yes, si justify. They're just roll, just 13 and 38.
News. At the important thing is just remember that in some way also be important with the zone. I'm really hungry. And as we always say. Ecco, sono most business for absolutely. Su noi senza nostra maniera mettere si think more the money. And it's always also lost the point to think like X of X for a reason. Also the new reason but mettere si the X for a reason on Friday, in fact on this day, and this is weather report, and this Friday's weather report, it was the fifth il nostro weather report, the beautiful red, black, and also white, it's different one in comparison with the previous, on some aspects it depends on the first one and in the second, this and the third and for the cars, all things that know if in particular they follow with me on all things that know if in particular if they follow with me in fact on this day on Friday's weather report, I think on a body sono body watching videos in general which all other my videos. Yes, however, yes, this should be in terms of the video, but I promise you that one day or one time, so many times, better to better president, then just started releasing his speech. For his run shot, so his news is a job, because talking about what thing, yes, repeat more than 1 year, and started biscuits are my favorite fact, my main visual combos, the visual biscuits, and see, I think at one must the best in terms of the chocolate chip cookies, or the cookies, the chip chocolate chips. And if I'm not mistaken, also failed to biscuits miscellaneous. But in particolare, tu userai da nessuno sound about to make a factory shot to totally consider of James League. Those are quick shot, in fact, for a shot of fragment videos, a shot, and if I think 7 months as soon as he gets a loss, sto conto ci viene da ripire, sono di tempo ci ripeto, Rosemone is quick, it finish, now this one thing, but it one thing, I think 239, 40, 41, this is as soon as sto conto ci viene da ripire, sono di tempo ci ripeto, and so since that amount of today I pattern inserted it once again in the milk, so very good news. And we also can use a breakfast, so it's a bomb set in particular mega bomb. And it's easy as this period of joke, so took almost money as well, because anything, the first time it's wet period, and if it's someone who says toll, you guys a breakfast, so it's a mega bomb. And second thing is about CS, fact, and if I use yesterday, the core and the Darian we said at second place position, perhaps also because I got first place position with the BAM at in general with second place position. Because attraverso questa posizione per me Italian Palm Dark Shock ci pensi fa cosa a true come nella because they are really super bad. Adesso tomorrow is supposed to enter in fact non tomorrow to lepe. Ma OIC